The final episode of this series, number 10. Thanks for watching all of the previous ones. Probably one of the most important, I think, of the lot. You've been through the whole process of training, buying the kit, spending the money on supplements, coaching, probably a lot of kit. It'll be a shame for you to not use it or continue it. So I'm going to touch on some things that perhaps aren't often spoken about around longevity. So hear me out. One of the strangest things about Ironman is that somewhere along the way, you realize the race was never really the point. Now, if you're in the middle of training for your first Ironman, that probably sounds ridiculous. Because right now, the race feels like everything. The finish line, the medal, the nerves. The fear of whether you can even do it. I totally get it. That was me as well. At the beginning, Ironman feels like this massive mountain sitting in front of you. Everything revolves around it, your weekends, your routine, your training, your stress, your confidence, what you eat. And you convince yourself, once I cross that finish line, that'll be the thing, the proof, the payoff, the moment. But here's what's interesting. For most people, something quietly shifts along the way. And by the time race day finally arrives, you've already changed far more than you realize. Because Ironman does something strange. You become somebody different. Hopefully in a positive way. And in this final episode, we want to talk about what Ironman actually gives you, besides a really bad bank balance. The mistake people make once the race is over. Why loads of people lose all momentum afterwards, and what I think the real point of all this actually is. Because the medal lasts a day, but who you become, and you just have to watch the Kona Dream Project to understand how the latest episodes in that series is becoming quite evident of the person that Dan is turning into. And actually Ironman and the Kona Dream Project is a vessel for that. So that sticks around much longer. Right, so the lie beginners believe. Let's start with the biggest lie. And again, completely understandable. Most people think, once I finish, that's it. Back to normal life, job done. But here's what surprised me. Race day can feel strangely anticlimactic, not disappointing, just different to what you imagined. You build this up for months, sometimes even years, and suddenly it's over. You cross the finish line, big emotion, massive relief, a lot of pride, and then eventually you wake up the next morning, the sun rises like a normal day, and life carries on. That really catches people off guard, because what nobody tells you is this: the race doesn't change you overnight. Most of the change already happened before race day. Back to discipline, consistency, resilience, confidence, all the things I've mentioned repeatedly, and I want to ingrain that into you. You built that long before somebody handed you a medal. That was just the icing on the cake and the emotional tier. And that's really important, because race day often just confirms who you've already become. That's the real shift. What Ironman actually changes, here's the bit people don't talk about enough, I think. Ironman changes far more than fitness. At first you think you're just learning how to swim further. Ride longer, obviously, you want to run better. But quietly, loads of other things start changing too. Your relationship with discomfort changes. I've mentioned that before in the previous video. Things stop feeling impossible. This carries over to your work life, and probably relationships, if you think about it hard. Tough days stop feeling dramatic. You stop panicking. When things feel difficult, you become calmer, more patient, more disciplined. And not in this intense productivity, guru sort of way, just quietly better at showing up. You stop waiting to feel motivated. You stop waiting to feel ready. You learn something really valuable. You can do difficult things without needing perfect conditions. It's back to that perfection that's killing us in society. And that's massive, because most people spend years waiting for confidence before they act. Ironman actually teaches the opposite. You action first, and then confidence comes later. And that mindset quietly spills into everything. Certainly work, I see that, 100%. Relationships, some of the times. Health, of course, positive outcomes there, and big, new, creative habits around that. Long-lasting habits. Stress, how you manage with stress, and then how you speak to yourself, what you believe you're capable of. Self-belief is so strong and so powerful. You start trusting yourself more, and because you've got evidence now. Evidence is everything. You know what happens when things get hard? You keep moving, and that changes people. Just think about that for a second. This is actually one of the reasons I care so much about coaching people through an Ironman, because people normally come in thinking they just need help with the training, or they want a plan, or they want accountability, maybe something better than they were doing before, or a different coach. There's so many different coach strategies out there. But usually the thing that changes most is confidence, consistency, and a huge one is belief. And that's something I'm working on. My elite runner, Cull, those who've been following him, is belief. And he's so young, he's in his early 20s, and that's something that's going to take years. And he will be one of the greats in GB in long distance running. Watch this space. They start building something that actually fits around real life and becomes sustainable. That's exactly why we built the hybrid coaching model earlier this year in 2026. Structured training, proper support, community, help people build something sustainable. I think that's really important, not just surviving one race. That's my long-term goal. If that sounds useful and something you're interested in, details are below. Back to the bigger picture. The mistakes people make afterwards, here's the bit I think people get wrong. After the Ironman, loads of people accidentally throw away everything they built. Not intentionally, but it happens. Training stops, structure disappears, healthy habits disappear, and then your identity, of course, starts to disappear. And slowly, they drift back to old patterns. And look, I'm not saying you need to train for Ironman forever. Definitely not. It's probably not healthy to do more than one a year, or maybe one every other year, depending on your age and your life circumstances. But I do think there's a better question to ask after the race. Not what's my next event, but what version of myself do I want to keep? Massive difference. Because maybe it's consistency. So that's habits, which obviously are positive and reinforce really good productivity in and out of work and training. Maybe it's confidence, maybe it's discipline. Okay, maybe it's simply knowing I'm somebody who can do difficult things now. That's worth protecting, because the biggest mistake after Ironman isn't slowing down. The mistake is forgetting what Ironman taught you. The real point of Ironman, here's one of my honest opinions, and it changes over the years because your lens changes, I suppose. Ironman was never really about the race, at least not entirely. The race matters, of course it does. It's emotional, it's a big part of your life, it's meaningful, it's difficult. There's no one that can do an Ironman that says it wasn't difficult, whatever level you are, and I have utmost respect for people doing it in 15, 16 hours. You're on your feet for a lot longer than 9 hours. Something you'll remember forever? Absolutely. But I think the race is mostly the excuse, the thing that forces you to become someone stronger, more resilient, more patient, more disciplined, more confident, someone who stops negotiating with themselves, someone who trusts themselves more, someone who quietly realizes, I'm more capable than I thought. And that's the bit worth holding on to, because eventually the medal goes in a drawer. The photos stop getting looked at, life gets busy again. But the person you became, that part stays, and maybe that's the real point of Ironman. Not proving something to everybody else, but quietly proving something to yourself. And if this kind of realistic approach to Ironman resonates with you, if you want support building something sustainable around real life, not just surviving one race, click the link in the description if you're interested in coaching. We help people train smart, stay consistent, and build something that genuinely lasts. So if you watch this whole series, first of all, thank you. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's helped make Ironman feel a little less overwhelming. And it's actually been quite nice for me to share all this with you, and maybe a bit more human as well. Because the truth is, you're probably far more capable than you think, and you just haven't got the evidence yet. Go build it. See you in the next race.